Hey, pleasant night. Hi, this is Marlon.
Hi, this is Colin. You probably would have seen some strange things happening, but don't bother. This is like a babe into the Zoom at this moment. So we are ready to start. So we are ready to start. Michael is there. Just to welcome Michael Amann. He's our server director. He's our presenter for tonight. Michael is a very humble person. He's really the driving force for the KARATBARS business in the Caribbean. So, and he has a wealth of information. So I am going to put you on to Michael now. Michael, all yours.
Yes, Michael. And we want to just thank you for actually bringing us into KARATBARS because KARATBARS has been able to assist us in many ways financially. So hats off to you, Michael. Thank you again. The floor is all yours, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And welcome to all of you that are on the call right now. Welcome to Wednesday webinar training on the International Power Up sessions. And we want to go through a little bit for those of you who have not been introduced to KARATBARS before, you want to know what this is a little bit about. I'm going to go a little bit into what it is, and then we're going to go into some training for those who are affiliates already. And I'll call this the part 2 of what we started last week. We had a part 1 of what we call KARATBARS tips and tricks. So my name is Michael Amann. As stated before, I was an affiliate. I have been an affiliate of KARATBARS International since October of 2013. And during that period of time from then to now, I have been very much involved in what's following up what's happening with the company. I'm a natural critic. I tend to be one. I question the legitimacy and credibility of many different organizations when I came across them. And when I came across KARATBARS, I only found white flags. I didn't find any red. Although you're seeing me holding a red flag there, that's not because of KARATBARS. That's because that's the flag of my home country, which is Trinidad and Tobago. I have been to various conferences with KARATBARS. I was in Las Vegas. I was in Los Angeles. I got to meet some of the team leaders around the world, such as Nitsa Narcos, Michael Delco, and of course from corporate Marcus Bratchko, and of course the CEO himself, Harold Sykes. I've also been very much involved with the teams locally and regionally in KARATBARS in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course through the region, Jamaica, Bahamas. And my goal has actually been to try to reach out to the people in the Caribbean, because we have a special culture, and also for us to raise leaders from our region, hence the name Karat Caribbean. Of course, tonight what we're going to do, as stated before, we're going to just do a quick overview of what KARATBARS is all about and what had me so excited from then, and of course go through some of the changes that has taken place with the products and services offered from the company that has made it even more exciting for myself. Now, the core of the company's products and services and whole ecosystem is based on gold. Yes, gold. Gold has been around as a store of value for over 2,000, and I was corrected last night, it was actually for around 2,800 years. It has been around as a form of money and has backed many civilizations from then up to the present time. Many countries around the world have a certain amount of gold in their central bank that holds up and backs their economy in the event of any economic meltdown. And for that reason, any kind of economic future that we want to have, we should include gold as part of that strategy and as that part of that plan, right? So, and one of the reasons for that is that what we call currency, what we call money, is really currency that we mean. Currency is not a store of value. Real money is a store of value. What do we mean by it being a store of value, Mike? Let's look back at 1920, for example. A new Ford truck was valued at around $645 US. $645 US could have also bought you 1 kilogram of gold at that time. Let's fast forward to 2019. How much does a brand new Ford truck cost? It costs $50,000 US. Even though it's the same, it also has, it still has 4 wheels, and it has an engine. It carries you forward. It has seats. Basically, it's a truck. What has changed maybe is some of the technology and some of the features, but it is essentially a new truck, $50,000 US, and yet 1 kilogram of gold costs around the same. So if we were to use that 1 kilogram of gold as money, that means 1 kilogram of gold could buy you the same thing in 1920 as it does in 2019. It is a store of value. There's a difference between value and price, by the way, right? Price is subject to inflation, but the value is what you're getting for it, right? So why save for the future in a currency that is losing value over time? It just didn't make sense. I remember when I left school, I said that by the time I reached 50, I would like to get $1 million. At that time, $1 million would have, in our local currency, would have been able to purchase me a plot of land with a house on it, with a vehicle, and I would have been able to get all the furnishings for the house and have change to do other things like travel to various places. Nowadays, that $1 million may not even be able to buy the property at all, right? So, so if that happens for me by the time I reach at this stage, if I'm leaving a legacy for my children, of course, saving it in the form of paper alone does not make sense, right? So so I started to look around for a store of value, for a system that will be able to allow me to save for the future in something other than currency, but something that retains its value. And that's why I came across KARATBARS, right? So one of the things that attracted me with KARATBARS back in 2013 is that it allowed us to get gold and gold-based products such as collector cards and actual physical coins at a cost that is less than what you would find out there. And it was easy for me to get. It's easy to ship. And even if they store it for me, it would not cost me to store it, right? And because I had looked around for different places where I can get gold, and KARATBARS was the best place to find gold. From then to now, KARATBARS has been offering more than, I mean, while as important as saving gold for the future is, it has expanded to many other services. Company has provided a form of gold called KARATPay or cash gold. Cash gold has pretty reduced gold because we had gotten gold from 1 gram, 2.5 gram, and 5 gram increments. We were able to get it at even lower, 0.1 of a gram, 0.2 and 0.4 and 0.6 of a gram as well. And with the lower increment cash gold, it means that it would be even more affordable for persons who could not afford gold before to be able to own some gold. And as time went on, the concept of owning gold extended a little further. Why, instead of just owning gold and then having to cash it back out of fiat, why not be able to purchase goods and services with gold itself? And that's where we had the launch of the KARATPay system, which would allow us to pay merchants for goods and services directly with gold. This was launched in 2015 and followed up soon after in 2016 with the KARATPay app, which will allow us to use our smartphone to transfer gold from one merchant to another. So KARATPay was one of the main items in the ecosystem, and this has actually led to other things in the future. By 2017, people were starting to marvel at the rise in the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the start of 2017 was less than $1,000. By the end of the year, it went up to as much as $20,000 US for one. Many companies around the world started to get awakened to the potential of using cryptocurrency in their systems and the rise of the blockchain. And people were even starting to question whether cryptocurrency may be more valuable than gold. Of course, right after 2017, Bitcoin collapsed from 20,000 for one all the way down to under 3,000 or in that range for one. It's a big drop. But gold has been steadily increasing over that period of time. It is now roughly around 1,500 per ounce. And it has been retaining its value as a more stable form as it is as a store of value, an asset. The company has also, instead of saying we're going gold versus crypto, the company actually joined the crypto movement, but having a system that is backed by the value of gold. So in 2018, the company had launched an ICO, which lasted for about 3 or 4 months, which was sold out. It was one of the largest ICOs in history. And we launched our own coin, which was linked to the value of gold, called the Carat Gold coin with the symbol of KBC. And by July 4th of this year, we were able to set up the ecosystem where we can exchange 100 KBCs for 1 gram of gold. We have a coin that we can actually exchange for gold. Other forms of cryptocurrency would not allow us to do that. And as time went on, the company actually continued to launch other products and services. With the funds raised from the ICO, the company had put into place things that were stated in the white paper, such as licensing the very first crypto bank in the United States of America on the 4th of July, 2018. And the assets of that bank went forward into owning, the company actually went forward to own the rights to various gold mines. There's one in Madagascar, and then followed up a couple months afterwards with one in Guinea, and to provide the gold that would be backing the coin. And furthermore, there's a system that was launched with that. That would allow, the system was that any transactions that would take place within the ecosystem where we have gold mines, we have the KBC coins, and we have other systems that were running, that were being launched, that transaction fees being raised from these transactions would then portion of those profits would go towards the backing of the gold. So the company would continue to get more gold to back the coins and thus increase its value as time went on. Company launched KARATBARS exchange in November of 2018, which would allow persons to exchange between fiat currency, that's US dollars, between that and gold, as well as cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and our own KBC as well. The KARATBARS is also central to part of the company's strategy to manage the value of our transactions. For example, we can actually exchange 100 KBCs to 1 gram of gold in the KARATBARS exchange. And when we purchase our coins, we have some coins that are still available in packages for persons to get. These coins will be deposited on our own KARATBARS exchange. We have also launched a K merchant, which allows merchants to exchange goods and services more than what KARATPay does for gold, K merchant does for cryptocurrency. So merchants can receive payments for goods and services in crypto, and yet the system will convert it to their own local fiat currency if they so desire. The company has also launched other innovations, such as the K1 Impulse phone, which is a secure phone that is immune to hacking once it is in the secure mode, and it also allows financial transactions to take place, which is very important. And there are other models coming out soon which will allow it to operate even via satellite, and it operates on the KBC using Carat Gold coin. And it's all running on what is called the voice over blockchain protocol. This has been extended even further with the WIM laptop, which is actually available now for pre-sale and will be shipped in early February. And these laptops are also encrypted. It will be immune to viruses and some of these other hacking attacks that many persons are so prevalent to. And we have also launched cash gold machines, which are being distributed in various parts of the world. Persons with their KBC coins in the KARATBARS exchange can actually request that some of their coins be exchangeable for gold by these machines, where they can get a QR code, go up to the machine, and get gold physically. So this whole system is actually going to be linked together by the Gold Standard Bank, which is launching on the 15th of December 2019 by the ceremony that's taking place in Madrid. This bank is going to be based in Brazil, and we're going to have actually access to a lot more services as per traditional banks. So this basically is the whole ecosystem that KARATBARS has produced, and Gold, as stated, is at the heart of it all. If we decide to become a part of this ecosystem, there are profits to be made. Because can you imagine someone with a bank account and you introduce others to bank into that bank or into that ecosystem, and you can actually have the potential to get commissions and transactions made by them and anyone else they introduce as part of their team. Where our traditional banking system, we have fees taken from us, we can actually get commissions, or we are rewarded for persons registering into banks, so on. So we can actually get residual passive income with fee-based commissions. We will also get direct commissions, 10% on each referral who registers and becomes a business partner with us as well. 10% on the first level, 3% on second, 2% on third on the business packages that they purchase. So we can come on today and put another business package. It's free to register. There's no cost to join. There's no monthly fees that one has to pay, or what persons call auto-ship or subscription. There's nothing mandatory. Persons can purchase gold. The persons can purchase crypto based on what their desires are. And it's always a good discipline to pay yourself first. It's always a good discipline to purchase, to obtain gold, exchange our declining value currency into a value of asset. But it is nothing mandatory. You would not be penalized if you don't. This is one of the beautiful things that I've always loved about the company. We have packages available from bronze, silver, gold, VIP. So of course, I would encourage you to get back to the person who encouraged you to come on the call today, if you were not exposed to KARATBARS before, and get more information about this fantastic business, right? So that would cover basically an introduction to the business opportunity itself. Now, for those of us who have been in the company for some time, wanted to just give you a quick introduction to what is required, and a reminder for when we introduce persons on the IP3 Red process. You want to take your business to the next level. Many of our affiliate teams basically follow a model of which I tend to refer to as IP3 Red, whereas we can invite persons or invitation to a presentation such as this one, or to a video that you may share with them, or to a live meeting. And after they watch the presentation and get the information that they need, we follow up with a 3-way conversation with a senior business partner who may be able to answer questions they may have. And then, of course, they can go to register. Once they register, they can get more education by continuing to follow the webinars, continuing to be plugged into various forms of information, because, of course, no one can remember everything from one sitting. We need to come back to learn more. There's this information that we may have missed the first time that we'll understand better the second time around. And once we get the edification and the information, and we get our empowerment, we can then duplicate. Those persons who have come on board, they will get all the information they need, they would have registered, and they can do the same with their teams. And this is how we can explode our KARATBARS business and take it to the next level. And one of the things I wanted to focus a little bit again, and this is more of a reminder, yes, a reminder as well, for those who may have missed the tips and tricks last week, as to what R represents. What are what I'll call the big 6? When we're talking about registering with KARATBARS, it's more than just one registration. We actually have 6, and I'll go through them. To have full access to the KARATBARS ecosystem, to ensure that we can fully benefit from everything KARATBARS has to offer, I want to encourage everyone who signs up for a KARATBARS account to make sure we have access to all of these 6 accounts. What are these 6 accounts, Michael? Which are the registrations you're talking about? The first one is, of course, to get our KARATBARS account. The KARATBARS and KARATGold.sg shares the same username and password. It shares the same validation system in the back end. Of course, we go to KARATBARS to purchase gold and gold-based products, and we go to Karat Gold, which of course that's linked to the name of our coin, Karat Gold coin. We go there to get crypto-based products. So we get cash gold, for example, on KARATBARS, and we will get the WIM, the K1 Impulse phone, and the profit packages, which are available until December 15th on Karat Gold site. Once we register to ensure that we can continue doing anything we need to do on those sites, we would need, of course, to have our KYCs done. This is to have our Know Your Customer, which is an international anti-money laundering requirement. This is for compliance reasons. Company would require a proof of ID to confirm that the account holder is who they say they are, and that the spelling of their name is correct, and the date of birth, and the proof of address, which is required to ensure that any deliveries that need to take place, such as the KARATBARS MasterCard, is going to the correct address and the person would not have moved. So we need a recent proof of address that persons can use to upload. And of course, we need to have a selfie of the person holding the ID. And also, in order to ensure and increase the security of our accounts, we should do what we call a 2FA authentication, which would allow persons to secure their account even further. Because anytime anyone were to log in, if someone knows their username and password, they'll still need to have access to the person's phone with a code that changes every 10 up to 15 seconds. So that increases the level of security. The next registration we need to do is to go on KARATPay. KARATPay is, as stated before, the system that would allow us to purchase goods and services with gold. Electronic form of gold, once it's in KARATPay, we call it univals, right? A unival is, of course, a unit of value, unival, right? And in KARATBARS, when we purchase the cash gold, we basically would have to load it into KARATPay e-wallet. There it will be in KARATBARS, it's called grams, but once it's in KARATPay, we refer to it as unival. Whereas each unival is equivalent to 0.1 grams of gold. And of course, as part of the registration process, we would have to first assign a number within KARATBARS to reserve the wallet number. And then we can set up the account in KARATPay. The KYC information in KARATPay is actually transferred from KARATBARS as part of the setup process. KARATPay is a separate organization from KARATBARS. KARATPay is based in Singapore, whereas KARATBARS is based in Stuttgart, Germany. Now, we know, as stated before, that many of the other services provided by the ecosystem, the KB universe, are each independent companies, and some of them may require different KYC processes as well. KARATPay has been out for a while, and it's more or less integrated with KARATBARS in terms of that interface. So when we're registering with KARATPay, the KYC information is transferred over to KARATBARS, right? And of course, we would need to have a PIN setup. So we would need to have KARATPay so that we can actually use it to purchase some of the crypto packages. That's why registering with KARATPay is important soon upon sign up. And of course, once we purchase our packages which contain cryptocurrency, as stated before, our cryptocurrency will actually go towards our, excuse me, cryptocurrency will actually go towards our wallet. Now we have a KARATPay app, which we can also use on our phones to transfer goods and services to persons. KARATPay app within the App Store or the Google Play Store would require an independent registration as well, but that is registration for the app. You will use the same information that was set up in KARATPay in the via the website first, and then you set it up in KARATPay app. Then, of course, we go to register the KARATBIT account, so that when we purchase our cryptocurrencies, the KCB coins would then be sent to our KARATBIT wallet. Within KARATBIT, we can also purchase or exchange and trade between KBC, Karat Gold Coin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, as stated before. And we can also exchange it to US. And as stated before, KARATBIT is where we can exchange the 100 KBC to 1 gram of gold, or any exchanges of coins to gold. So it's important for all users to also have this wallet, this account set up. We would also, for those people who have businesses, want to set up a K merchant account, which, as stated before, would allow the merchants to receive payment in cryptocurrencies. Note that KARATBIT, K merchant, and KARATBARS all require KYC. And what BSG stands for, we have in KARATBIT and K merchant, we have bronze, silver, and gold level of KYCs. Each level is a prerequisite to the next level. So you need to have bronze before you can apply for silver KYC and so on. And each level also allows for greater volume and greater value of transactions. With KARATBIT, it also continues to platinum, which is required for doing any exchange for withdrawals from KARATBIT to the cash gold machines, And we have the testament, which is required, of course, for to leave a legacy for dependents and so on. We knew of the situation where someone died in a plane crash and he was the only one who had the key. Nobody had access to his crypto wallets. We don't want to have that happen with our assets as well. And then, of course, we would need to have, while the first 5 can be done almost immediately in terms of loading up information, we can order a MasterCard. And when the MasterCard arrives, it may take about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to arrive. And when it's done, we can then activate the PIN, and then we can log into Prepaid Financial Services, which is the name of the company that is providing the MasterCard services for KARATBARS, and which is a separate website as well. So we'd have to go in and log into that site. So each of these websites represents a separate company, as stated before. And I also wanted to re-emphasize that because some persons may have missed it the first time, and anytime we speak to anyone new, and for several of us who are even in the system, we need to go in and ensure that we have these accounts set up. In particular, when we are approaching the hard fork, for those who are aware of the hard fork coming on in December, the coins that we have in our back office needs to be transferred into our KARATBIT wallets, and the hard fork is actually taking place over there. So if you don't have a KARATBIT wallet, if you never logged into KARATBIT, I encourage you to do so as soon as possible, because once you do that, then the KARATBARS and the KARATBIT account will be linked. If that is not done, the coins that are purchased remains in the remains in the back office and would not be transferred to KARATBIT until this is done. And then, of course, it may be possible to do it because the company is really helpful towards us, but we could avoid the deluge of emails and calls to support that could have been prevented from before, right? So let's make sure to have our KARATBIT account set up. Okay. So with that being said, we've crossed the first half hour of the session, and I'd like to go into tips and tricks part 2. As I'm going along, if there are any questions you may have, you can feel free to type it in the chat box. I'm not looking at the chat box right now, but at the end of the tips and tricks, I'll go. We try to take about 20 minutes and leave the remaining 10 minutes to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so last week on the tips and tricks, we looked at various referral links. When you go to referral links, you see a bunch of different referral links. You don't know what each of them stands for, and we went through a couple of those to see the advantages and disadvantages of each of those. And we also looked at more information on KYCs and different things. This week, we're going to continue that trend. If you missed last week, you can look for the link. It will actually, this session is also being recorded. And when we put in out the recording, we will put the link to the first video as well. Okay. I want to start off by looking a little bit at the comparison of gold prices. Now, just a throwback to some of the what was shared at the in presentations up to this point in time. The goal that Harold Sites has had from the beginning was to produce the highest quality gold available on the market and to make it easily accessible to the masses of honest people around the world at a price point that everyone can afford. Highest quality gold available, price point everyone can afford. And some persons got wise and they went on Google and they started to do some searches, and they started to question that this statement here. They're saying that KARATBARS gold is expensive, 20 to 25% more expensive than what's on the market and so on. Note that Harold's vision was never just to produce gold and make it available for people. He says here the highest quality gold. And to prove it, I actually went on just yesterday, I went on the website and I did a quick search for the highest quality gold. What is the highest quality gold available on the market? The highest quality gold available on the market, which is sort of a forerunner to KARATBARS, something referred to as the kind bar. Because of the amount of counterfeit gold there is in the world, you think that that currency has a lot of counterfeits. Well, actually gold has a lot of counterfeits as well. Different companies have put security measures in place to ensure that the format of gold that they have would not require a saying. So they would include additional security features such as holograms and other special security features to ensure that the gold that persons have is the best quality. And of course, that production cost adds a little bit more to the price of the finished product, but it is to ensure its value. And of course, gold is something that you don't just buy today and sell tomorrow. It is a store of value that you want to hold over time. And with the kind bar, this was one of these breakthroughs and was actually copyrighted, that security process that they used to validate that gold. So the name KARATBARS came out because the system that Harold came out with, he also produced a security system to keep the gold in. And of course, kind bar is already used to make it close. Carat is what we use to measure the value of gold, so why not KARATBARS, right? I just want to give you an example. You do a search on Google, you look for 1 gram of kind bar UBS gold, and you would see that as of yesterday, the price of 1 gram of UBS gold is 85.45 euros. Yes, it has, you would see the certification in a credit card format. It's 99.9. It has the SA's signature and all of that stuff. And it has the additional security features, which of course, when you go to the site, you would find out about it. But it's at 85.45 euros. What is the price of 1 gram of classic KARATBARS? Our 1 gram classic card is actually now 66.78 euros. Yes, of course, we have the guarantee of quality and value. And we also have what we call the blacklight technology. We also have the DNA reader. We have every gram of gold has a unique DNA markers on it. It also has holograms and it has tons of security features. And yet it is less expensive than the kind bar. How less expensive? Well, the kind bar is actually 28% more expensive than the classic KARATBARS. Now, why wouldn't the critics tell you that that the kind bar is overpriced? Because they know this is the highest quality gold available. And do you know that as part of our compensation plan, the classic KARATBARS is automatically added to our accounts once we make certain levels of commissions? The company is dedicated to giving us not anything substantive, but the highest level of quality of gold to have in our possession. This has always been part of Harold's philosophy. There we go. So what about if you don't want anything that high level of security and so on? Well, you can actually go and purchase a gram of gold. Notice the same Swiss gold site. I went and I changed to the low premium gold. You can have access to gold, which of course you see the format here. It's not exactly in a card. It's not, it doesn't have as much security features. And the price of it is 57.67 euros for 1 gram of gold. And actually, in order to get reduced prices, you may have to purchase more quantities for this. But what is the price of 1 gram of cash gold? This is KARATBARS offering. This is KARATBARS placement on this other product. We can get our cash gold for 50.60 euros. And you will say, okay, well, this is Swiss gold. We have other types of gold. We have pump. Well, there's the pump Swiss. We have other forms of gold bullion in bar form. I challenge you to go and check yourself. I have gone to goldsilver.com. I have gone to various sites, and I have not been able to find any site that has physical gold at less than the price that KARATBARS offers. I did it in relative comparison with the 1 gram, the 2 gram, the 5 gram, the 6 grams. Sorry, the 1 gram, the 3 gram, and the 6 gram. At any level, you would find that KARATBARS has the least price for gold in small quantities, right? In fact, the low premium gold that's provided by Swiss is 14% more expensive than cash gold. So if you meet a detractor or someone who does a casual search and says, hey, KARATBARS is more expensive, well, let's ask the question, is the Mercedes more expensive than a Toyota? Why? There's a difference in the grade of vehicle. There's a difference in the grade of gold. And we have products that's for the low premium as well as in the high premium market. And plus, when we have our cash gold and we store it, we can also use our cash gold as transactable, in transactable form to purchase goods and services, right? So that was a quick, just a quick tidbit there on the price of gold. We want to do a quick look as well when persons register. We want to look at some placement ins and outs. This is something that many people may not be too clear on when persons register as part of the dual team, how they can fall. Now, when someone registers with your referral link, they will be placed into either a left team or a right team. In fact, there are 4 main placement options for these persons, right? When it's automatic, persons can fall on left and then right. The system will actually determine where to place them based on the number of persons that are on the left and right? If the placement is set as left, the placement will be under the lowest person on the left outer leg. Now, notice, as I said, you have a person, let's say this person, Tuting Amann. On his left team or his left leg, we have Lily Rosebud, we have Shamika 209, we have Sean Carr, and so on. Each person's, when they register, they would fall either on the left or on the right, TCR Guy, Michael Charles. These persons may actually fall, may be sponsored directly by Tuting Amann, or maybe sponsored by persons, by his sponsor above him, that happens to fall in his team. So Shimmaker, for example, could be sponsored by Lily Rosebud. That person could be sponsored by Tuting Amann or above. But when Shimmaker starts to share with persons, she would have her 4 teams placed, left, right, as the case may be. Okay? So if the placement, you have an option for placement, if it is set as left, then that means that every person that registers would fall on the left team. If the placement is set as right, every person who registers under using Tuting Amann's link will fall in his right leg, his right team. If the placement option is set to placement, an option will come up to put the username of the person to place them under. For example, if Tuting Amann had his registration link set or his dual team set as placement and put the person as Dynamic DLLC, that means if Tuting Amann registered Herbert using his link, Herbert will fall under Dynamic LLC on his, in this case, his left side. Or if he puts Shimaka 209, then of course, when Tuting Amann signs up the person, he falls under Rashid 280828 falls under Shamika. Or if it happens to be Abu Hamode, also falls under Shamika. Note that when setting up placement, the sign up that is placed under that will be placed under that person based on that person's placement setting. So Shamika had her placement setting as left. Then when Tutan has signed up someone else, it will actually fall on Shamika's left and fall more on the left leg, right? So this would be useful. Why do I need to know this? Sometimes you're going to register someone and you know that they also know someone else. When we're building teams, it's helpful to put persons together who have some form of synergy or who have some form of similar interest so they can work together. They'll be directly sponsored by you, but as they are placed as part of that other person, then their success will also help their success as well. So this is a little something to know about placement, right? We spoke about this. You have the inner leg. In this case, Rashid is on Tuting Amann's inner leg, whereas Sean Carr will be on his outer leg. With just a little term there, showing that although they are both on his left, one is on someone's inside. So if he sponsors other person and spill over, they would all fall on his outer leg, all right? So we went over some of these reasons. There may be there may be a situation where someone may have lots of units waiting to cycle on one side. And in this case, for example, you see that this person's right team has over 3,000 units and his left team has none. So he would want to place more persons on his left team so that any purchases made will help him to cycle, right? So this is one situation where you may want to ensure that two things happen. His placement is actually set to left, or placement under someone on his left team, as the case may be. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a little look at KARATBARS MasterCard. There's some things that persons may not know about the KARATBARS MasterCard, right? When you get your MasterCard, as stated before, once you follow the instructions and you activate the card, you go to the PFS login, we click right there. And persons may ask, what are the fees and what are the fees for withdrawal and fee and so on? What are the spending limits and so on with the MasterCard? You can actually get that by reviewing terms and conditions. You click there. So I tend not to remember it. I just tell people you can actually go click there yourself, because there's a lot of different things for ATM, for point of sale, for transfer of funds and so on, that I'm not going to remember all of them. Anyone can just click on the terms and conditions and get access to that. So we can register the PFS website using the same username and contact info as is used in the KARATBARS and KARATBARS sites. If the PFS registration is not done, well, you may not be able to use the card because it's when you register your card is when you get access to it. The fees are not paid to the card from the back office unless at least 15 euros are accumulated. Some persons may say they bought the card, but they're not seeing any money on it. But when you check their account, they may have 10 euros. They may have 10 euros waiting to be paid out or something like that. But we need to have at least 15 euros accumulated commissions before we can get money put on our card. But of course, it is possible to purchase card from commissions earned in the back office. So some persons will say, well, they would purchase the card one time from the time they purchase the package. Some persons may say, you know what, they're going to work the business, and when they get enough commissions, they would pay it from their commission, so they won't have to pay it from their pocket, which is fine. It's up to anyone whether they want to do that. Pay from the commissions or pay out of your pocket. It's up to you, right? But of course, before you order the MasterCard, the account must be KYC approved, which is one of the reasons I mentioned before, to ensure that you get your KYC approved as soon as possible. And that also ensures that the card is delivered to the correct mailing address. So when you click on the PFS login, what do you see? You actually get to a screen, and once you finish the registration process, you can get more information on your card, right? You can register the loading card with an existing credit or debit card you may have that's issued by another bank, right? Which means that if you have an existing card, there's different ways to get funds to your MasterCard, your KARATBARS MasterCard. Yes, we get paid by commissions, but you can actually load funds from an existing credit card if you wish, up to 500 euros per transaction. And you can do up to 1,000 euros per day, I believe. You would find out in the terms and conditions. Once you to do that, you would have to click on register loading card. And then when you add the number, you can only load one card at a time. You would have to call PFS to activate. So you call Prepaid Financial Services. You would have access to the telephone number within the system when that message comes. You would call and say, hey, I authorize loading this card on my system so that I can add funds to it. Right? So once that's done, one can load funds from an external card to MasterCard in increments of 10 euros. So you cannot load 15 euros, for example, but you can load 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, all the way up to 500 euros. Right? And you can only load one card at any time. If you want to load a second card, you'll have to replace the information from the first card. Okay? Now, you can also transfer funds from one KARATBARS MasterCard to another. To do that, of course, you would click on transfer funds. All you need to know is the other person's KARATBARS MasterCard number. You don't need the expiration date and CVC and all that stuff. All you need to know is their MasterCard number. You can transfer funds from one person to another. And if you hit payment request, you can also pay items to other organizations via wire transfer. You come up with a screen to put in things like the SWIFT code and the big number and so on, and the IBAN number where you want to send funds to. So yes, you can do that from the KARATBARS MasterCard. Many people may not know some of these features, and it's all available right there, right? So I'll just done a quick look at uni-level rankings. I see we're close on the 50-minute mark, right? Some persons may hear about different rankings, get silver director, gold director, stuff like that. What does all that mean? Well, actually, when we look at the different commission streams of income, we have two main types of teams. KARATBARS pays us through two main systems. One through our direct teams. Direct team being I register some persons directly, and they register some persons directly, and so on and so forth. That is my direct team. And then we have dual team, which has to do with the left team and the right team, which we spoke about before. All the majority of the commission streams, such as the uni-level commissions, which is paid monthly based on points, the double income, which is the when persons purchase within the first 6 weeks of a free account, a person purchases certain types of cards, you actually get 30 euros directly, or in packages for direct sales of 3D cards, you get it from your direct team. Direct commissions on package sales, first level, second level, third level, that is based on your direct team. Matching bonus, down to 7 generations down, that is based on your direct team. Has nothing to do with your dual team, right? The Impulse K1 matching bonus and these special incentives, where we get incentive points, are all based on our direct team, persons we personally sponsor. And in some cases, going levels down, who they personally sponsor. The only form of commission that we get from the dual team would be the dual commission cycles. That is, once we accumulate 50 units on one side and 25 units on the other side, and we get a payout, that is the only form of commission that we get from the dual team. So when you place someone under someone else, as explained before, they are still part of your direct team, and they will be part of your dual team. But the person you place them under, they would not be part. They would not be part of that person's dual team, because they will not be part of that person's direct team. I mean, because you just place them under, but they're still part of your direct team. Only the persons that one personally sponsors and who they personally sponsors is part of the direct team. And as you can see, most commission streams are coming from your direct team. So it is in our best interest to build our teams. We can do dual, some persons can sit down, twiddle their thumbs and let other persons do the work, but the only form of commissions they will get will be dual team, all right? So this is something I think that may not be too obvious to some persons, and I think that may be useful, right? So we spoke about some of that double, and then quickly, the ranks in terms of supervisor, bronze, silver, gold, supervisor, manager, or even director is based on sales in our direct teams, not dual team, okay? So from the direct organization only, does not include spillovers who are direct to other persons who are not in your personal teams. And and sales made every month, for every €2 spent, 1 point is made. So for 100 euros spent, that's 50 points. And this measurement is made on all sales made in our organization from the 11th of one month to the 10th of the following month. And the total points for every period are tallied as found under team statistics and personal referrals. You would see the amount of points that are made. And based on the amount of points that are generated for that particular period, one will then be classed as a silver supervisor, gold supervisor, bronze manager, and so on, going all the way up. In fact, because of time, I would not go into more details on it here, but suffice it to say that the uni-level ranks of distributor, supervisor, manager, director are based on mainly on sales made in your direct organization. There is no benefit, sorry, the amount of persons in your dual team is not used to determine your uni-level rank, only in your direct organization. And we can go from director. We have a bronze director, silver director, gold, and then we have gold director, elite 1, gold director, elite 2, gold director, elite 3. What's the difference between all of them? With you become a goal director elite 1 when you have 1 goal director in your team. You have goal director elite 2 when you have at least a goal director elite 1 in your team. And you become goal director elite 3 if you have at least 1 goal director elite 2 in your team, and so on, right? So I think that is just about that what I will go to. As I said, in part 3, I'll be going into more details on these different uni-level ranks, and I'll give you a quick preview of how we're going to how to read the dashboard in determining that, and of course the KARATBARS long-term incentives, right? How we can know how we can win things such as the Mercedes cars and the villas and the Rolex watch and so on, right? We're going to go into that in more detail next time, right? So that would basically cover that. We also go into some bonus and profit codes and the difference between each of them and how to effectively use them in our next session. So for now, I would stop by share and take it back to the host and also see if there are any questions that anyone has to answer. So back to you. Colleen?
Hi,
Marlon?
thank you, Michael. This was very informative. Now the floor is open to anyone who would like to ask any questions. All you have to do is unmute your mic and you can actually speak.
Yes, hi, good night. Hello?
Hi, good night.
Yes, hi, Patricia here, Michael.
Hi, Patricia.
You state six things that we need to do with the KARATBARS and stuff, but I'm on my back office right now. I saw like I can just log into the Karat Pay and download the information. And what do I do from there? Because it approved and they send me an email and everything. But then the third step, you have the Karat Pay app. Do I need to download that app as well?
It's not mandatory, it's helpful. For example, I was on a meeting and someone had coffee for sale and he was taking Unifiles for it. I was able to pull up my phone and he had a QR code. With the app, you can actually scan a QR code and pay for the items one time. But if it is not something you face, you don't really need to. It's not mandatory. It's nice to have.
And what is a 2FA?
2FA stands for two-factor authentication. And there are many services that are provided online that require it. And the reason for 2FA is this. Many times when we use username and password, that is one factor. The password is one form of security that helps you to identify who you are, right? So you have your username, the password is one factor. The two-factor is if you have to use something else to also validate that you are who you say you are. For example, have you ever tried to log into your Gmail, for example, in somebody else's computer? And you get a message, and then you get a message on your phone saying, hey, is this really you trying to log in, even though you put the correct username and password? Well, that is a form of two-factor authentication, because you need another factor to confirm that it is really you. The official 2FA is something from what Google Authenticator has one form, although there are other companies that provides a 2FA service, and it is in the form of a number, a 6-digit number that changes every 10 to 15 seconds. So when you go to log in, you'll get another message coming up. Please enter your code now, your 2FA code. And the application on your phone would have what that number is.
Okay. And then one more question. Number 4 here, you have the KARATBID. I have to go on a website and do this one?
Yes. Go to karatbit.net and there's instructions.
Okay.
In fact, let me just give you another quick share screen. And I should have done it. Thank you for raising that question. It's very important. I always tell persons the questions are important because if they're not asked, then they would not be answered. Okay, so let me just end this right. Oops, right. So I would encourage everybody to go to this site, goldcashflowsystem.com. When you go to goldcashflowsystem.com, you'll actually be taken to this site, which is a site that I actually put together along with content and information provided by my senior business partner, Mr. Kevin James Brown, that has more information about KARATBARS and how to introduce people, how to talk to people, how to register, and so on. We have testimonials of persons who register with KARATBARS, and more importantly, as you are asking the question, we have on the side you have a menu for advanced training, what I call the Karat Academy, or you can also go down to the bottom here and just click on Karat Academy training. And when you go there, you will have access to more information as to how to register the MasterCard, how to register KARATBIT. You see, we have different modules here. One of them is KARATBIT Exchange. When you go to KARATBIT Exchange module, you would get the training there and videos. Let me click on KARATBIT Exchange there. KARATBIT Exchange. You get an overview of the exchange, and you'll also be guided to tutorials in terms of how to register it.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
Including how to set up the two-factor authentication there. So it's all here. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Any other questions?
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
This is Ian. I
Hello,
needed
Ian.
to find out something. The coins that is in my back office, right? Would it be transferred automatically, or I will have to transfer it for myself to the KBIT?
Once you register your account on KARATBIT Exchange, there's a section in there to link your KARATBIT and your KARATBARS account, put in your username and so on. Right? I think it is also in one of these training videos here. Right? Yeah, so you'll be guided. But you can actually go through it yourself. You go to settings and you would see KARATBARS, put in your username, the email address you use and so on. And that would link your KARATBIT ID to the ID in KARATBARS itself.
Okay.
If you don't do that, the coins will remain in your back office. There's no manual intervention required. All you need to do is to set up your KARATBIT account, to link it to KARATBARS, and the coins will automatically go across.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Michael, we have some questions in the chat, but we only have about 2 more minutes to this presentation, this Zoom call. So I don't know if you want to address those.
Well, let's take a quick look at the chat. Let's see. Can an affiliate say a mom order a supplementary MasterCard? Here's an interesting thing. An affiliate, when you go through the terms and conditions, I'll recommend that you go through. I'll just give you this highlight, this tease, and you can get more information yourself. You can actually order a supplementary card on the same account for another party once they are 13 years or over. Go check the terms and conditions and you would see it for yourself, right? And with tonight's education be posted, yes, it has been recorded. And once it is complete, we work on processing it and everything, it will be loaded to YouTube. We will share a recording. Yes. So I think that covers it. And we are just about reaching the time, so that's it.
All right, everyone. Well, we at the end of this Zoom call, this presentation. Thank you, everyone, for attending. It has been a very knowledgeable experience. And wait again for the next presentation, the next Zoom call, and again, you will be fulfilled. So once again, thank you very much, y'all, for attending this presentation.
Yes, folks.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Marlon.